You think you're working hard, don't you? Grinding, sacrificing, putting in the hours. You see guys around you, maybe not even as smart or as dedicated, pulling ahead, scaling income ladders you can only dream of. You feel that frustração silenciosa boiling, the gnawing question, what am I missing? It's not about luck. It's not about who you know. It's about a single, ponto cego insidioso, a hidden enemy within your own mind, silently sabotaging your riqueza and paz. And if you don't expose it, if you don't conquer it, one small mistake, one seemingly insignificant decisão, can trigger a domino effect that will absolutely ruin your life. This isn't just about dinero. It's about reclaiming your power, your potential, and the destiny you deserve. Don't just scroll past this. Your futuro depends on understanding what I'm about to reveal. If you're tired of the financial treadmill, of feeling stuck despite your relentless effort, hit that subscribe button right now. Join the men who are actually breaking free, because what you're about to learn will fundamentally rewire how you approach every single decision. The biggest mentira sobre dinero you've been told isn't that you need to save more, or invest smarter, or even work harder. It's that your financial decisions são racionais. You believe you're autor, logico, weighing pros and cons, making calculated moves. But the cold, hard truth, most of your critical financial choices, the ones that dictate your income ceiling, your net worth, and your future freedom, are not racionais. They're driven by impulsos invisíveis, by medos primes, by narrativas internalizadas you don't even know you've internalized. This isn't some fluff de autoajuda. This is neurosciência meeting your bank account. We're talking about the ponto cego de má decisão, a cognitive glitch that costs men like you millions, not over decades, but in a single devastating moment. Imagine a surgeon operating with a blind spot. Catastrophic, right? You're performing cirurgia financiera on your own life every single day, often without even realizing this critical flaw exists. Let's dissect this. Think about the last time you made uma compra significativa. Was it truly a logical need? Or was it desejo fugaz, sparked by an advertisement, a friend's new gadget, or a momentary feeling of inadequacy? The dopamina hit of gratificação instantânea is medicamento poderoso. Nosso cérebro é programado para a sobrevivência, para a recompensa imediata. In um mundo primitivo, seeing a ripe berry and eating it immediately was a good strategy. Em uma economia moderna, that same impulse leads to compras por impulso, investimentos míopes, and uma incapacidade crônica de adiar a gratificação for massive future gains. This isn't a moral failing. It's uma predisposição biológica, exploited daily by every genio do marketing on the planet. They know your weakness better than you do. They know how to trigger that ancient impulse, to bypass your cortex prefrontal rational and go straight for the núcleo emotional. And when you act on those impulses, you're not just spending dinero, you're spending seu futuro, sua liberdade, sua paz de espírito. You're building a life on areia movediça, one impulsive decision at a time. The problem isn't the occasional splurge, it's o efeito cumulativo, a erosão sutil of your financial foundation, fueled by these gatilhos inconscientes. Consider a mentalidade de escassez. This isn't just about not having enough money, it's uma crença profunda de que os recursos são limitados, that if you don't grab it now, it'll be gone forever. This triggers panic, leading to hasty decisions. You see uma oferta por tempo limitado, and your brain screams, act now, even if it's a terrible deal. You see o sucesso dos outros and feel a rush to catch up, leading to investimentos especulativos you don't understand, or jumping into empreendimentos comerciais without proper due diligence. This mentalidade de escassez, ironically, cria scarcity. It pushes you into manobras reativas e desesperadas instead of crescimento estratégico e deliberado. It makes you subestimar suas habilidades, aceitar salário mais baixo, and cling to empregos that drain your soul because the fear of nothing else is paralyzing. This isn't about blaming o sistema. It's about recognizing how o sistema exploits a fundamental human vulnerability. Another silent killer? O viés de confirmação. You have a crença, say, I'm not good with money, or rich people are just lucky, or my industry is capped. Your cerebro, in its infinite wisdom, will then actively seek out and prioritize information that confirms these crenças, while ignoring anything that contradicts them. You'll see evidence of others struggling and think, see, I told you so. You'll dismiss stories of self-made success as exceptions to the rule. This creates uma câmara de eco in your own mind, trapping you in uma profecia autorrealizável. Sua mente inconsciente, trying to be efficient, reinforces your current reality, even if that reality is holding you back. You're literally filtering out as soluções you desperately need, all because your brain is trying to prove itself right. This isn't just about financial beliefs, it's about sua identidade própria around money. If you believe you're destined for mediocridade, your cerebro will ensure you arrive there. So, how do we dismantle esses sabotadores invisíveis? How do we reprogram a lifetime of impulsos inconscientes? It starts with consciência radical. The first step, and arguably the hardest, is to acknowledge that you are not sempre rational. That seus sentimentos viscerais, seus desejos imediatos, can be the very things leading you astray. This is where automestria begins. You have to become observador de pensamentos, detetive de impulsos financeiros. Here's the reframe. Seu cérebro é supercomputador, but it's running software desatualizado. We need to update o sistema operacional. Reframe írbura de gratificação instantânea para dominação atrasada. Instead of viewing gratificação atrasada as a sacrifice, reframe it as superpoder estratégico. Every time you resist uma compra por impulso, you're not depriving yourself. You're investing em seu futuro. You're comprando liberdade, tempo e opções. Make it jogo. Every time you choose o ganho de longo prazo over the short-term pleasure, consciously acknowledge it. Pat yourself on the back. This isn't about being ascetic. It's about paciência estratégica. Train yourself to ask, will this compra bring me closer to my ultimate financial freedom, or further away? If it's the latter, pause. Create buffer mental. The urge will pass. O arrependimento de uma má decisão often lasts far longer than the fleeting joy of an impulse buy. Reframe 2. Da mentalidade de escassez para a estratégia de abundância. Stop seeing the world as jogo de soma zero. Seu sucesso does not diminish o sucesso dos outros. Instead, focus on criação de valor. A torta isn't fixed, it's constantly expanding. When you operate from a place of abundância, you look for opportunities to create value, to solve problems, to collaborate, rather than compete fiercely for scraps. This means investing in habilidades that are in demand, building uma rede, and seeking out mentors. It means understanding that sua renda é reflexo direto do valor fornecido ao mercado. Stop chasing dinheiro. Start chasing value. Dinheiro é subproduto do valor entregue. When you truly believe there's enough for everyone, you stop making movimentos desesperados e míopes and start building motor robusto e sustentável de riqueza. Reframe 3. Do viés de confirmação para a curiosidade intelectual. Actively seek out informação that challenges suas crenças existentes about money, success, and your own capabilities. If you think you're bad with money, read livros by financial experts, listen to podcasts from successful entrepreneurs, and study os hábitos dos ricos. Don't just consume informação that makes you feel conforto. Consume informação that makes you feel desconforto, that forces you to question suas suposições. This isn't about being gullible, it's about being open-minded. The greatest breakthroughs happen when we're willing to admit we might be wrong. Ask yourself, what if everything I believe about my financial situation is incorrect? This single question can unlock a cascade of new possibilities. Now let's get into the practical habits that will solidify these mental reframes and protect you from that ponto cego de má decisão. These aren't suggestions. These are non-negotiable disciplines for any man serious about escaping the financial matrix. Habit number 1. The 72-hour rule for major purchases. Unless it's an absolute emergency, never make uma compra significativa on impulse. If you're considering buying something over a certain threshold, define it for yourself, maybe $100, $500, or even $1,000. Impose a mandatory 72-hour waiting period. During this time, actively question your motives. Is it a want or a need? How will this impact my long-term goals? Can I achieve the same outcome with a more cost-effective solution? Often the initial emotional urge will fade, and clarity will emerge. This simple rule is a powerful circuit breaker for impulse decisions. It gives your rational brain a fighting chance against your lizard brain. Habit number 2. The future self visualization. Before making any significant financial decision, a new job, a major investment, a large purchase, visualize your future self, 5 or 10 years down the line. How will this decision impact that person? Will they thank you for it, or curse your short-sightedness. This isn't some woo-woo exercise. It's a powerful psychological tool to connect your present actions with your desired future outcome. Your future self is relying on you to make smart choices today. Make them proud. This creates a powerful emotional link, transforming abstract financial goals into a tangible personal commitment. Habit number 3, the value first assessment. Before committing to any new venture, investment, or even a career pivot, ask yourself, what value am I creating here? What problem am I solving for others? This shifts your focus from how much money can I make to how much value can I deliver? When you focus on value, the money naturally follows. This also helps you identify true opportunities versus fleeting trends. Many men chase quick cash, only to find themselves burnt out and broke. Focusing on value builds sustainable, long-term wealth. This is the difference between a quick buck and building an empire. Habit number 4, the opportunity cost calculation. Every financial decision you make has an opportunity cost, what you're giving up by choosing one path over another. When you buy that new car, you're not just spending money, you're giving up the potential returns that money could have generated if invested. When you spend hours scrolling social media, you're giving up the time you could have spent learning a new skill or building a side hustle. Make this explicit. Before you commit, ask, what am I not doing by doing this? This forces you to weigh the true cost, not just the sticker price. This is where most men fall short. They only see what they gain, not what they sacrifice. Habit number 5, the decision journal. This is a game changer. For every significant financial decision you make, big or small, write it down. Include the decision itself, your initial reasoning and assumptions, your emotional state at the time, the expected outcome, the actual outcome after a few weeks or months. This journal becomes your personal financial laboratory. You'll start to see patterns. You'll identify your own blind spots, your recurring emotional triggers, and the types of decisions that consistently lead to poor results. This isn't about dwelling on mistakes. It's about learning from them and building a robust decision-making framework. It's an objective record of your financial evolution, allowing you to track your progress and identify areas for improvement. This is how you become a master of your own financial psychology. Understand this: the world is designed to extract your wealth through your impulsos inconscientes. From targeted ads to social pressure, every force is pushing you towards gratificación instantánea and away from strategic long-term thinking. But you have a choice. You can remain a puppet of your own programming, or you can seize control. You can choose to be a man who understands the invisible forces at play, who masters his own mind, and who builds a financial future of true power and freedom. This isn't about getting rich quick. It's about getting rich smart. It's about building a bulletproof financial identity, one disciplined decision at a time. It's about transforming your effort into real progress, not just spinning your wheels. The men who win financially aren't necessarily the smartest or the luckiest. They're the ones who master their psychology, who understand the ponto cego de ma decisión, and who proactively build systems to counteract it. You've been given the blueprint. The tools are in your hands. Now it's about execution. It's about taking what you've learned today and applying it relentlessly, consistently. Your future self is depending on you. Don't let him down. This isn't just theory. This is the difference between living paycheck to paycheck, feeling that silent dread, and building a life of financial sovereignty. It's the difference between being reactive and being strategic. It's the difference between feeling trapped and feeling completely in control. So, what's your next move? Are you going to let those impulsos invisibles continue to dictate your financial destiny? Or are you going to step up, take command of your own mind, and build the wealth and peace you deserve? The choice is yours, and it starts right now. If you're serious about transforming your financial reality, about mastering your mindset and building an undeniable future, then you need to be part of the Geist Prime community. This isn't just a channel, it's a movement of men committed to real growth, real results, and real freedom. Don't just watch this video and forget it. Take action. Right now, subscribe to Geist Prime, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our actionable strategies, and share this video with another man who needs to hear this truth. Your financial freedom isn't just a dream, it's a discipline, and it starts with you taking control of that small mistake, that single domino, before it ruins your life. Do it now. Your future self will thank you. In T, Geist Prime Studio, Day Mark, 40s, sharp, intense, wearing a dark tailored suit. leans forward, his gaze direct and unwavering. The studio lighting is crisp, accentuating his features. Mark. We've talked about the ponto cego de ma decisión, that insidious gap between what you intend to do and what you actually do. We've explored how seemingly minor financial missteps can cascade into catastrophic failures, but understanding the problem is only half the battle. The other half, the more crucial half, is building the fortifications, the mental and systemic barriers that protect you from yourself. He gestures with an open hand, as if presenting a complex architectural plan. Mark, Cohen TD. Think of your financial life not as a straight road, but as a treacherous mountain pass. There are hidden crevasses, unexpected rockfalls, and sudden changes in weather. Most men, they just start walking, hoping for the best, reacting to every obstacle as it appears. That's a recipe for disaster. The financially sovereign man, he doesn't just walk, he engineers the path. He builds bridges over chasms, reinforces weak sections, and installs warning systems. He doesn't eliminate risk entirely. That's impossible, but he manages it, mitigates it, and prepares for it with an almost obsessive foresight. He pauses, letting the analogy sink in. Mark, Con TD. Let's dive deeper into the mechanics of this foresight. It begins with what I call the pre-mortem protocol. You're about to make a significant financial decision, investing in a new venture, buying a property, taking on a substantial loan, even una compra significativa. Instead of just focusing on the potential upside, I want you to mentally fast forward 1 year, 5 years, 10 years into the futuro. Now imagine that decision went catastrophically wrong. Everything failed. You lost dinero, tempo, oportunidad, even reputation. He leans back slightly, his expression serious. Mark, Con TD. Now here's the critical part. Write down every single reason you can think of that led to that failure. Be brutal. Be honest. Was it an inflated ego? A lack of due diligence? Ignoring red flags? Succumbing to social pressure? Chasing a shiny object? Not understanding the true cost? Overestimating your own capabilities? Underestimating the market? Document every single potential point of failure. He holds up a finger. Mark, Cohen TD. This isn't about paralysis by analysis. It's about proactive risk identification. Once you have that list of potential catastrophic failures, you can then design countermeasures before you commit. If you identify that your ego might lead you to overinvest, you build a rule. Never invest more than X% of your liquid assets in a single venture. If you realize you might ignore red flags, you commit to getting a third-party, unbiased opinion. If you fear succumbing to social pressure, you create a cooling-off period before making any large purchase, allowing the emotional heat to dissipate. Mark, Con TD. This pre-mortem protocol isn't just for big decisions. It's a muscle you develop. Start small. Before you hit buy now on that impulse Amazon purchase, do a mini pre-mortem. If I buy this, what's the worst that could happen? Will I regret it in a week? Will it gather dust? Is there something more important I could be doing with this money? It trains your cerebro to anticipate negative outcomes, not just fantasize about positive ones. It's the financial equivalent of looking both ways before crossing the street, even if you're in a hurry. He shifts, his posture radiating authority. Mark, Con TD. Next, we need to address the insidious power of your immediate environment. Your surroundings, your social circle, even the digital content you consume. They are constantly shaping your financial decisions, often without your conscious awareness. This is the concept of environmental engineering for financial fortification. He gestures around the studio, then out to an unseen world. Mark, Con TD. If your closest friends are constantly buying new cars, going on expensive trips they can't afford, and talking about the latest luxury gadgets, what do you think that does to your own spending habits? It normalizes consumption. It creates a subtle, almost invisible pressure to keep up, to conform. This isn't about judging your friends. It's about understanding human psychology. We are tribal creatures, and our tribes dictate our norms. Mark, Cohen TD. So the question becomes, how do you engineer an environment that supports your financial goals, rather than sabotaging them? First, it's about curation. Curate your social circle. Seek out men who are financially disciplined, who prioritize saving and investing, who talk about oportunidades and growth, not just liabilities and consumption. If your inner circle is pulling you down, you need to either elevate them or expand your circle to include those who lift you up. This isn't ruthless, it's self-preservation. Mark, CONTED. Second, curate your digital consumption. If your social media feeds are filled with influencers flaunting lavish lifestyles, expensive watches, and private jets, you are constantly being fed a diet of aspirational consumerism. This creates dissatisfaction with your current reality, leading to compras por impulso driven by envy or the desire for external validation. Unfollow, mute. Seek out content that educates, empowers, and inspires financial discipline, not financial delusion. Geist Prime is a start, but there's a world of knowledge out there. He leans in again, his voice dropping slightly. Mark, CONTED. Third, curate your physical space. Is your home filled with clutter? Unused purchases? Items bought on impulse? A chaotic environment often reflects a chaotic mind, and a chaotic mind makes chaotic financial decisions. Create a minimalist, intentional space. Every item in your home should serve a purpose or bring genuine joy. If it doesn't, it's a liability, both financially and mentally. Sell it, donate it, or discard it. Decluttering your physical space often leads to decluttering your financial life. You start to question every incoming item, every potential purchase, with a newfound intentionality. Mark, CONTED. This environmental engineering extends to your financial tools themselves. Automate everything you can. Set up automatic transfers to your savings and investment accounts the day your paycheck hits. This is paying yourself first on steroids. It removes the decision-making process from your hands, bypassing the ponto cego de ma decisão entirely. If the money is already gone, you can't spend it. It's a simple yet profoundly effective psychological hack. He holds up an index finger, emphasizing a point. Mark, CONTED. Furthermore, make it difficult to spend. Remove saved credit card details from online shopping sites. Unsubscribe from promotional emails that trigger impulse buys. Even go as far as leaving your credit cards at home when you go out for errands, carrying only the cash you intend to spend. These are small friction points, but they add up. They force you to pause, to think, to actively choose to spend, rather than reactively swiping. Every moment of conscious friction is a victory against impulse. Mark, CONTED. Now, let's talk about the antidote to the get-rich-quick mentality. The power of compounding discipline. Most men understand compound interest, money making money, but very few understand compound discipline. Every small, consistent, disciplined financial decision you make today doesn't just have a linear effect. It compounds over tempo. He illustrates with his hands, showing an exponential curve. Mark, CONTED. For example, choosing to invest an extra $50 a week consistently for 20 years isn't just $50 50 weeks x 20 years. With compound returns, that seemingly small decision can transform into hundreds of thousands of dollars. But it's not just about the dinero, it's about the compounding effect on your mindset. Mark, CONTED. Every time you resist uma compra por impulso, you strengthen your self-control muscle. Every time you track your expenses, you increase your financial awareness. Every time you stick to your budget, you reinforce your commitment to your goals. These aren't isolated incidents. They are repetitions in the gym of financial mastery. And like any muscle, the more you work it, the stronger it gets. You build resilience. You build confidence. You build an internal fortress against the onslaught of temptations. He taps his temple. Mark, CONTED. This compounding discipline eventually leads to what I call financial flow state. It's when making the right financial decisions becomes almost effortless, almost second nature. It's not a struggle, it's your default. Your systems are in place, your environment is optimized, and your mindset is aligned. You're no longer fighting against your impulses. You've engineered a life where your impulses are directed towards growth, not self-sabotage. Mark, CONTED. Imagine waking up every day knowing your dinero is working for you, that your financial futuro is secure, not because you got lucky, but because you built it, brick by disciplined brick. Imagine the paz de espíritu, the libertad to pursue your passions, the ability to provide for your family without the crushing weight of financial anxiety. This isn't a fantasy, it's the inevitable outcome of consistent, intentional financial discipline. He leans forward one last time, his voice rising in intensity. Mark, CONTED. But it demands a choice. It demands a commitment. It demands that you stop making excuses and start taking absolute ownership of your financial destiny. The ponto cego de ma decisão isn't a permanent condition, it's a challenge to be overcome. It's a weakness to be fortified. Mark, con TD. The blueprint is laid out. The strategies are clear. The path to financial sovereignty is not easy, but it is unequivocally worth it. It's about more than just dinero. It's about self-respect, integrity, and the libertad to live life on your own terms. Mark, con TD. Your future self is not some distant stranger. He is the direct result of the choices you make today. Will he thank you for your foresight and discipline, or will he resent your complacency and short-sightedness? The answer lies in what you do. Starting now, Mark, con TD. Don't let another day pass where you are a passive observer of your own financial fate. Become the architect, become the engineer, become the master of your own mind and your own money. Join the Geist Prime movement. Subscribe, engage, and most importantly, act. Your financial revolution begins with that single, conscious decision to take control. Do it now. Mark holds the gaze, the intensity palpable, as the screen fades to black. Mark's office. Day. The screen comes back to life, but this time, it's a split screen. On one side, we see Mark, still in his office, his expression now softer, more reflective. On the other side, a montage of various people, young, old, diverse backgrounds, making small, deliberate financial choices. A young woman setting up an automatic transfer to savings, a couple reviewing their budget, a man researching investment options, an elderly woman happily paying bills online. Mark, VO. We often talk about financial freedom as a destination, a finish line, but it's more accurately described as a perpetual journey, a continuous refinement of habits and perspectives. It's about building a robust financial immune system, capable of weathering any storm, adapting to any market shift. The montage continues, showing people actively engaging with financial tools, attending online seminars, and even discussing their financial goals with family members. Mark, VO. Consider the concept of financial resilience. It's not just about having a large sum of money, it's about the agility to recover from setbacks, the foresight to anticipate challenges, and the discipline to maintain momentum even when external circumstances are volatile. Think of it like a well-diversified portfolio, not just of assets, but of habilidades, knowledge, and adaptive strategies. The split screen shifts. Mark is now speaking directly to the camera again, but his tone is less motivational speaker and more trusted advisor. Mark. Many people fall into the trap of thinking financial stability is about avoiding all risks. That's a myth. It's about understanding risk, quantifying it, and then making informed decisions. It's about knowing when to be aggressive and when to be conservative. It's about recognizing that sometimes the biggest risk is inaction, allowing inflation to erode your savings, or missing out on growth opportunities because of fear. He picks up a small, smooth river stone from his desk, turning it over in his fingers. Mark, conted. This stone, polished over tempo by the relentless flow of water, is a metaphor for financial growth. It wasn't shaped by a single dramatic event, but by consistent, incremental pressure. Each ripple, each current, played its part. Your financial journey is similar. It's the effeito cumulativo of countless small decisions, each one subtly shaping your financial landscape. The split screen returns, now showing graphics illustrating compound interest, diversified investments, and the power of consistent savings over tempo. Mark, Cant D. Let's demystify some of the common hurdles. The idea that you need a huge starting capital to invest? False. The belief that you need to be a financial wizard to understand the markets? Also false. What you need is consistency, a willingness to learn, and the courage to start small. $1 invested today, consistently, will always outperform $1,000 you plan to invest someday. He looks directly into the camera, his gaze steady and reassuring. Mark, Cant D. And remember, this isn't about deprivation, it's about optimization. It's about channeling your resources towards what truly matters to you. It's about aligning your spending with your values so that every dollar you allocate serves a purpose, bringing you closer to your goals rather than further away. It's about conscious consumption, not austerity. This is your personal economy, and you are the CEO. Make conscious decisions to invest in your future self, starting now.